Welcome. Thank you so much for purchasing the Atlas of Sacred Currents Soul Codes card deck. This is the Getting Started guide. And I am just so thrilled to be able to bring this to you. It's just a short video to introduce the actual deck itself and what you're going to be getting out of it. I really hope that it serves you. So you can obviously read through the welcome and introduction, but I'm just going to read through it just so that you can hear it from my voice, because a lot of energy did go into these cards, and I realized that there are so many components to it. Some of us might get some pieces of it, and some of us might not really understand the whole of it. So that's the purpose of the Getting Started guide. So first, welcome to the Atlas of Sacred Currents card deck. I'm really honored to be a part of your divination practice. This was born out of my own journey of metamorphosis as a cancer survivor who beat the odds. And I'm a Kundalini wisdom teacher. I discovered that true healing happens when the wisdom that lives in our bones meets metaphysical sciences. And it's all held in connection to God, grand, omnipresent design, and spirit. And when I hit rock bottom with the C word, I don't like to keep repeating that over and over again, but just so that people are aware of like what my story is, and the loss of one of my children, who's actually an angel. She's with us every single day. I really did find myself searching for something deeper than conventional recovery and grief processing methods. So through Kundalini yoga, understanding the traditional Chinese medicine meridian pathways and really studying those. And I've studied multiple different systems of energy like the indigenous Filipino and the Thai, as well as the Marma points within yoga. And the TCM meridian pathways really speak to me. I think they're just very simple and easy to communicate in yoga classes, because who doesn't have organs, right? Well, some of us don't have organs, but all of us were born generally with the same organs. And so it's really easy to understand. So I was just in the process of remembering this powerful system of how to connect, and it transformed not just my body, but my entire being at the cellular level. And as an accredited teacher, I've really witnessed countless women primarily, but people of all walks of life transform their crisis into portals of profound body, soul, and spirit connection. And so this deck represents the transcending of the physical cards, and it serves as a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, and between ancient knowledge and modern understanding. So, whether you're navigating a health challenge, processing grief, or you're just simply seeking a deeper connection to your body's innate wisdom, the cards serve as a daily companion into coming into our wholeness. So, I love what I do. I love yoga. I love being on this planet, and I love healing. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We just did the welcome and introduction. We're going to talk about the three soul codes of the atlas itself, and also the three pillars of soul codes, really, all of my entire brand. Decoding the earth and body geometry, as well as basic usage guidelines, some of the elements of the cards explained. We're going to go over some of the card spreads, and I'll do a reading, as well as the integration and the next steps of actually how to integrate the deck into your life. So first, the deck that you're holding really represents the three core pillars of soul codes, which are nature, body, and metaphysical. So first, let's start with nature. This is actually a path that I walk very often here in Florida, and our body is speaking a primordial language. This is older than time itself. And through sacred geometry patterns found on Earth's crop circles, vortexes, and ley lines, we connect to the universal messages that can literally alter our DNA. Also, we focus on the body. So our energy meridian pathways have guided deeper connections to the body for thousands of years. Movement is a key pillar to our foundational health and wellness, and yoga is a holistic system that considers all aspects of who we are. And then, of course, the metaphysical. So, wisdom science backed practices of Kundalini Tantra yoga. They're the visceral experience of the quantum, which means that anything can happen at any time. And through these sacred practices, we activate your body's blueprint for bouncing back from anything. So, now we're going to decode sacred geometry. You see lightning. I start with lightning, and then I compare it to the lungs as well as the branches of a tree. And then you'll see like a picture of the lungs. looks like a tree and it looks like lightning. A nebula in space looks just like the spiral of a seashell, looks just like a pine cone. And then in the middle, it says we are harmonic beings. So it's actually a picture of an unraveled heart, a DNA strand, and the musical scale, and how all of those patterns basically mimic one another. You'll also see, I think this is the Lincoln Memorial. It's actually in the Fibonacci sequence. And then there's actually a picture of a cheetah's eyes, the ear, like a succulent, the scorpion tail, your fist, a ram's horn, a yoga posture. All of these actually have the golden ratio or the Fibonacci sequence. So specific geometric shapes and proportions reflect the underlying structure of all universal patterns. And then basically I go into decoding the earth and body geometry. So you'll see basically a sphere turning into, and these are like the cellular structure of a body. So a sphere, the vesica Pisces, the egg of life, the Genesis pattern, and the flower of life. And basically, geometry is really a pathway out of chaos. You're going to find the same order of sacred geometric patterns in cities, in buildings, in nature, crop formations, and our own cellular structure, and also throughout the body's meridian pathways. So there's points of concentrated energy along any given energy line, that the energy lines are organized by our actual organs themselves. And then there's two additional energy lines, the dew governing vessel, which is the yang line of the back, and the ran conception vessel, which is the yin line of the front, from the pubic bone toward the low lip. And basically, sacred sites on the earth, particularly where crop circles are found, have similar points called vortexes, which are defined as a site where spiritual energy is concentrated and globally recognized power spot. So it's usually on or near interesting rock formations where people have reported feeling really inspired by a beneficial source of energy. So in these following slides, we're going to explore how to know if you're on an Earth vortex. This PDF comes with the actual deck itself. The deck is really beautiful. Some of the features of it are that I really actually have 27 cards, so it's fairly thin, but it comes with a booklet, and the booklet actually also has body poetry in it. So in today's presentation, I'll get into the details of everything that's involved with it, and we'll do a card reading as well. So here's how to identify if you're on an earth vortex. So step one is that you're going to ground the soles of the feet on earth daily. So this is very simple, timeless wisdom reminder that one of the most underrated, important ways to release excess heat in the body is to ground the soles of the feet on the bare earth. This is how you're going to actually get in touch with what the earth feels like and really be able to use your body wisdom and get in touch with the earth wisdom. And basically this is free electrons. It's transferred from the earth into your body, and there's a very grounding effect. So this is one of the most potent antioxidants that we know of. I show a picture here of what grounding does to inflammation. It basically reduces inflammation, and it also reduces your cortisol levels, so you'll have a lot less stress. So here's step two, which is signs of being on an earth vortex. Once you actually ground into the earth and actually feel the earth's energy, you'll know, because you'll get physical sensations. So I have a picture on here of ley lines and vortexes and what they look like on the earth. These are essentially the earth's meridians. And then you'll also see a banyan tree, which are some of the most amazing trees on this planet. And they're in such abundance here in Florida. And I think they're only found in like Southeast India is the only other place that actually has them, and maybe some spots in the Philippines. Because I know, because my mom actually just came from there and sent me pictures of being at this enormous banyan tree with tons of roots. And then there's a picture of the full energetic body. So in your physical body, you will feel a tingling or vibrating sensation, a heightened sense of energy awareness. There might be changes in body temperature, and a feeling of being grounded or pulled downward. So, an enhanced meridian sensitivity. Additionally, you'll feel um, just like overall a sense of heightened energy. So I actually track the Schumann resonance. You can download the app onto your phone, and it'll actually tell you like what the heartbeat of the earth is. And I follow, you can actually check out my channel, YouTube channel, as well as my app, an interview with Amanda Skiles. So she's the universe within 333. She's one of the most accurate Schumann resonance readers I've ever really come into contact with. She's really a psychic medium. And I do a whole interview with her when the Schumann resonance, like basically was creating DNA spirals. And I think it was at the spring equinox last year, or no, it might have been like 2023 now. I can't really remember. All of the timelines blur together, but check that out. So ways to know environmentally whether you're on a vortex, you'll see twisted tree growth patterns. That's really the number one sign. You'll also see an unusual plant growth or abundance. So here in Tampa, there's actually a strain of mushroom called Tampanesis. Oh, I can't remember the actual name of it, but you can look it up. They call it the philosopher's stone mushroom. And it's only grown here in Tampa after major like weather patterns, and its intention is for the spores to actually protect the wildlife around it. And so when you actually intake it in, you have a lot of philosophical underpinnings of inspiration, and just a lot of neuron activity. And so that's really a huge indicator that Tampa is one huge vortex, which is very obvious. There are many other places that have this type of energy. I would say like Sedona, Arizona is like the first one that comes to mind. I'm actually from Michigan, so I know that there is a vortex in between the midden part of Michigan and the Upper Peninsula. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but I've actually been there and it's right before Mackinac. So they're everywhere. But like you'll know because you'll also have like magnetic compass variations. There's natural spiral formations everywhere, not just the trees, but the plants everywhere. And then like place like Sedona, distinctive rock formations. So some of the energetic signs that you're on a vortex or that you'll feel an increased meditation depth. When I was on the I think it's called Boynton Canyon vortex in Sedona, I really felt that in-depth feeling of just connectedness to that land, and the ethereal beings that stay connected and tethered to that land. And it was just so powerful. You'll also feel an enhanced Kundalini energy flow, stronger connection during your yoga practice, and incredibly heightened intuitive awareness, along with very deep sadhana experiences. So, step three, here's how to actually intuit whether you're on an earth vortex. Some of the testing methods include dowsing rods or pendulums. You want to use copper for these. Copper is a really great way to be able to have a strong indicator of electricity, electromagnetic fields, the EMF meters for electromagnetic variations, as well as meditation and body scanning. So just using your own intuition. I think photography is really powerful. Just like in this picture, this is taken on my iPhone, and it's literally just like light anomaly orbs. And then also observing how you feel during your Kundalini practice. The pendulum practice is also really powerful. You can hold your crystal pendulum at the heart center, allow it to move really naturally, and you're looking for a specific circular pattern, the speed, the direction, and then also versus linear movements, and noting the intensity of the swing. So these nature codes can really be integrated with pranayama, the breathing techniques, as well as understanding the meridians on a deeper level, Kundalini Kriya, and any of the protocols that are actually in this book, which are yoga asana primarily. So here's some exercises, step 5, to confirm that you're actually on a vortex. So for body wisdom exercises, we have the sacred geometry body scan. So you're basically standing in mountain pose. You close your eyes and you imagine a spiral of light. You slowly rotate clockwise. This is actually calling in energy. When we rotate counterclockwise, we're actually releasing energy back to the earth. So when you're doing it clockwise, just notice any type of sensations here. And then you want to pay attention to where your body naturally wants to lean and notice any tingling in your pathways. I know that like even when specific people message me or like if they're thinking about me and we have some sort of connection, like we're friends or we've talked before, or we've exchanged energies in some sort of way. I don't mean it like that, not sacred energy exchange, but like we've had some sort of exchange. There is this psychic connection. And with that psychic connection, it's almost as if I can intuit whether the person is about to contact me or think or is thinking strongly about me. And so it's the same thing with a vortex. You can really tell when your vessel is clear and when your pineal gland is really activated. And just by even staring at any of these cards, it's going to interact with the body. We get to this part, but just as a spoiler alert, which is on the sales page of the Atlas deck, but the retina activates. So the biophotons are interacting with the actual sacred geometric designs. If you're actually looking at these in the sunlight, it's even a greater activation of the pineal gland. And so, we can do metaphysical exercises as well. So, electromagnetic sensitivity training, using a compass to check the magnetic variations, documenting your temperature fluctuations, and noticing like electronic device behavior. You want to always track your energy levels and just notice. Like for me, I get really lethargic. I get really tired sometimes when it's a strong vortex. Like what was it called? Like the Bell vortex in Sedona. So it's like after you climb up this like hill, you get to this like church or it's like a cathedral. I got really fucking tired and sick there because the energy was just so high. And I think like at the time I was living in Michigan and just my energy was just like lower. So if I was like vibrating at a lower frequency and the energy was just simply too high, too much at one time, you can get really sick or tired. Sometimes you feel a surge of energy. Sometimes you feel uplifted and you feel an energetic like boost. And so it's really important to monitor your physical symptoms and just understand where you're at and what you're doing and just be aware. You can also biofield map. So that's walking in a grid-like pattern, like a labyrinth, rating the energy intensity on a scale of 1 to 10 if you're not as in touch or if there is some sort of blockage in the body. And then like marking strong spots on a map and returning at different times and days, as well as documenting the weather conditions. So all of these are like super variable, but you'll be able to know. I think you will just know. Then you can also do spiritual exercises, such as which are very grounding, which is like actually placing your hands in the dirt on the ground, tuning into the earth's pulse, noticing the temperature differences when you do that, and really feeling for subtle variations and vibrations and allowing your meridians to naturally align. So here's some basic usage guidelines of your actual deck. Find a quiet sadhana during Brahma Muhurtam, which is from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. If you refer to my video, actually, I think it's dropping tomorrow. I'm not even sure that I posted it yet, but it's part 3 of the Holy Rivers of the Soul, the Holy Nectar of the Soul. In part 3, I talk about waking up with the sunrise and how important that is and what it does for the body and what it does with the cerebral spinal fluid. It's really a great video. But basically, here, just wake up from 4 to 6. You can take 3 deep breath of fire. So these are really quick rhythmic breaths through the nose using the diaphragm. And you can really refer to anything in the virtual study studio for demonstration videos. You'll have access to all of the videos in there. But you'll want to take your deck and then tap it 3 times for residual energies. Some people like to put crystals actually on top of the deck. For me, I do feel that holding the deck at heart level and really allowing the electromagnetic field to interact with the cards, and just being really in touch with where you're at. Shuffle while focusing on your heart center and then fan the cards in a clockwise direction to activate the meridian energy patterns. So you can pay attention to any cards that jump out. Like today I had the red conception vessel jump out at me. And it was basically telling me, hey, slow down. But after each reading, you want to express gratitude just for the knowledge, for the people who came before you, your inner creative resource teacher here now, and all who are going to be magnetized by your energy, because that's really what these do is they magnetize things to you, whatever it is that you want to make manifest can and will magnetize. And if not right away, it's stored in your Bindu chakra, in your spiritual awareness field, and they're in your field. And so weekly, you can pass the cards through sage or Palo Santo smoke. Monthly, you can place selenite on the deck or put it on a selenite charging plate that are harmonious measurements of frequency, and they just help to align you with the energy of the deck. And then you can also put it under moonlight for the natural energy cleansing. That's my favorite card on the left-hand side. That's the Gallbladder Meridian line. I love that card. I love the color of it, the heart chakra color. Okay, so here are some of the elements explained. First of all, the significance of the meridian pathways. So, meridian energy flow systems act as invisible channels carrying energy. So, you can call it ki, you can call it prana, you can call it chi, connecting to the surface points to the deeper organs and the systems to create a complete circuit of vitality throughout the body. Each meridian carries specific emotional qualities, and I write them actually on the cards. So, for example, this first one is large intestine. Holding grudges, I don't know why it's blurry, but holding grudges is the imbalance, and then letting go is the balanced energy. And just really knowing about those really helps process and release trapped emotions and any kind of trauma. So, research shows a correlation with the fascia networks of the body, our connective tissue of the body, corresponding with the bioelectric communication, along with aligning with the neural pathways of the brain and the patterns of the brain. So, you will notice that it also matches the inflammatory response routes as well. So, there's a lot of parallels of the meridians, just like how our cerebral spinal fluid mimics, like how it actually physiologically goes up the spine and down the spine through our spinal cord, that actually mimics Pitta and Ingala, the masculine and feminine forces of Kundalini and how they spiral. Same principle here. What's small is big. The way energy moves through our body is the way it physiologically moves through our body. So if we understand it from a physical point of view, we will understand it energetically, and vice versa. So this matters for your healing because you have such a great way to create a pathway for trauma release. You also are supporting your body's natural recovery processes and enhancing the somatic connection between your body and your mind. This also accelerates the way that you process emotion, and then it deepens the spiritual connection. So, gosh, why is it? It's like all weird on here. But basically, crop circles are universal messages that connect to the frequency of creativity and your soul's highest potential. I had the pleasure of really working with Jessica Dixon on her crop circle designs. We've got a collab coming up. Everybody look out for that. And basically, they create a very specific vibrational frequency. So, these frequencies align with the body's natural healing rhythms. Excuse me, I just need to take a sip of water. And they create these harmonic healing environments in the physical body. So, just like I was talking about before, there are tiny light particles called biophotons in our retina. And basically, these interact with sacred geometry patterns of any kind, whether it is in a building, whether it is a city, whether it is a seashell. Whew. Excuse me. Sorry, guys, it's late. But when we look at even just looking at these, here's my favorite card. Even just looking at these, it starts to awaken our consciousness. It starts to download vast amounts of information into our brain. We may or may not be aware of it. And if you're not fully aware of it, the information comes to you when you need it the most and when it's most relevant for you. And this really unlocks your natural ability to heal and transform and awaken just by gazing at the circles, and then integrating it with yoga takes it really to the next level. So I have yoga postures for each of the cards, and each of the yoga asana, there are many ways to really activate one meridian line. Like, just because Supta Baddha Konasana is on the kidney meridian line card, it doesn't mean that that's the only posture that activates it. There are thousands of ways to activate the meridian pathways, but and I show you a lot in the virtual study studio that might differ from what's actually on the card. But you're combining this modern movement with ancient wisdom. You're integrating the sacred geometric patterns on the earth to what's within the body, and you get this deep mind, body, soul, earth connection. And that really supports our energy flow through targeted meridian lines, and it enhances our overall vitality and life force energy. And so I also have poetry in here, and you can read through this on your own. There's a lot here, but the bottom line is it makes really complex concepts more accessible, especially to children. So you really get a holistic experience with the poems themselves. So here is an example. I don't know why the circles are everywhere here. I'm gonna have to fix this, but on your PDF, it doesn't look like this. It's because I resized it. But we have different card spreads that we can do. So for example, triangle card spread, 3 cards. The first card represents the current energy flow. So I got the heart. So that's stress and an emotional balance. The radiating outward on this crop circle really mimics the heart branching pattern. And the yoga asana is Ustrasana. Oh, excuse me. Which is camel posture. So that is the current energy flow. What is the blockage? What is the blockage? The pericardium line. So it's porous. And then when it's healthy, you have healthy boundaries. So you'll see the protective encircling elements. And we have rack posture here. So you can Google the actual postures, or you can go into the Ritual Study Studio and I actually show you each of the postures. But this is the blockage for now. And then the healing pathway is going to be the kidney meridian line. So having faith. So you'll see that the central hole design mirrors the kidney's meridian's deep connection to our core essence. And we have Pavrita Pawan Muktasana, which is the wind release posture. So I think that's like such the coolest part is that you guys get a bunch of yoga with the deck itself, which is just so healing on so many different levels. So there's other ways that we can do north, south, east, west with a card in the middle representing the core issue. I've got the 7-card spread, which is the healing journey. So you have your present energetic state, your physical body wisdom, emotional blocks, spiritual messages, action for balance, supporting meridian and the integration practice, and then the moon cycle healing. So that's only 4 cards. New moon, first quarter, full moon, last quarter. So intent, growing edge, illuminated truth, and then release and integration. If you've made it this far, congrats. The next steps in the integration are, having practice. So doing this morning ritual, simply pull 1 card. If the other card spreads are too much, just do 1 card. Meditate on the 1 card. You could do a 3-card spread for deeper healing. Integrate it with your yoga practice. Use it if you're a yoga teacher. And then you can apply it to emotional healing connections, getting wellness support, grief processing techniques, and stress relief practices. Some of the more advanced integrations are combining it with meditations and frequencies. And you can use all of the Soul Codes courses on soulcodeslove.passion.io. So I just wanted to roll through how the app actually works and what it looks like. So you're going to already have your login set up. So if you have been with me for a while, you're going to use your email and set up and do the password that you had already set up. And it should be set up within the app. If it's not, email soulcodes.love@gmail.com, but you're going to click Sanctuary and you're going to see all of the different courses. So in certain levels of access, if you're not a subscriber, if you haven't taken a training or bought one of these courses, you may not see them. Everybody sees the encoded voice notes, which I actually, while I have you guys on here, I would definitely encourage that you get the free voice notes neural reset protocol. It's really life-changing and it's really freaking amazing. But you're going to scroll down and you're looking for the Soul Codes Presents Atlas of Sacred Currents. So this is the card deck virtual study studio. You're going to go ahead and click it. And then what you're going to find in here is basically a rundown of that slideshow that we just went through called the Getting Started Guide. When you click on the Getting Started Guide, you're going to actually see a download of the PDF here. It is compressed, so it might look tad different than what you saw because it's in PDF format, but this is basically everything we just ran through. Okay. And then you're going to go and you can press complete once you're done with that. You don't have to though. Then you can actually go to this card reading section where you can get a reading and interpretation. So it's just like a video, basically like the video is going to show all of the cards and you can screenshot it because you can access this on your phone. And this doesn't look the best on the computer. All of these look really good on your actual phone. So, and then here's the actual deck and it's going to show every single card and within the card, well, this one doesn't have it yet. So remember that I'm still like filming some of these as I go along. You're going to have the full gamut of it by the end of April. If you're getting this after April, you should have more than just one video in here. But let's see. I think I have one for the Ren conception vessel. I don't remember where it was. Give me a second, guys. Okay, yeah. So you'll see here, and then I actually walk you through how to open up the Ren conception vessel. And it might differ from what's on the card because there's so many different ways to open up those lines. But I will show what's on the card as well once I get to that. Nothing is here yet for the 21 Days of Sacred Sadhana because that's going to be all about the meridians and we're going to integrate the deck with it. And it's going to be 21 days consecutively based upon the meridians in this deck and also the lesser known chakras. So that's how to use this part of the app. It's not fully built out yet, and you do have access to the other portions of the app as well. I have a pretty expensive library of timeless classic books, so we can just scroll through that. Herbal remedies, simple living, natural foods, some audiobooks that I think are particularly spiritual. And then I have like hundreds of classes. So I classify them by like primordial yoga at the different places that I teach. You'll see like the specialization workshops, science of essential oils. You'll see the pranayama. There's a lot in here. And so whenever it has this like unlock button, that means that it's a free video. All my free videos are also on YouTube. Some of them are not published on YouTube. And then this is where I house all of my trainings. So that's a little bit about the app. You want to go to soulcodeslove.passion.io if you have issues logging in with your email and don't have access to this portion of the app, which is Soul Codes Atlas of Sacred Currents. You want to email soulcodes.love@gmail.com. Thank you so much, yogis. Namaste. I am so proud of this work. Thank you so much. I hope that this deck supports you in the way that it's supported me. I loved making it. The QR code within your Getting Started PDF leads you directly to the digital app. So your account should be activated. If it's not, please email soulcodes.love@gmail.com. You can visit soulcodes.love. I've got other decks coming out. I've got 2 planned with multiple practices coming out. So who I am and what I value in 1 minute. You've already heard my past story from the first slide. I'm constantly learning. Adversity is the foundation of success. Wounds are the foundation of wisdom. Trauma is the foundation of resilience. We all know this. Once you embrace that there's no such thing as wasted time, and you say to yourself, God wants me and needs me here now in this time, and that I chose to be here, that's when you can really create magic. You can really bring it into your life. I give a lot of credit to my husband, Kurt, my children, Aiden and Addison. I call them Conrad and Corinne. Those are their middle names. My family, my teachers who came before me, Jessica, who did the artwork on this deck. I specialize in, as you know, ancient yogic wisdom, metaphysical sciences, and yoga movement, especially of the hips. So you can get all of this knowledge anywhere online now, in any of the training programs, anywhere. I have a very extensive training program. I integrate information in no way that I've ever seen anybody do. And this is a conglomerate of all of the thousands of trainings that I've been through, and owning a yoga studio for to 10 years. I think it was like 10 years really. And just being a part of the yoga industrial complex and even outside of that in my own spiritual realm